Mainardo to take the stage to give his response on behalf of one of the world's largest media agencies. Mainardo.
Thank you and good morning. David Weldon yesterday talked to us about data and storytelling, and he used a great example of Einstein and Monet. He told us to get comfortable with ambiguity because he said that is what you're going to get in the next few years. And I think the essence of his message was that marketing hasn't changed, but the context in which marketing is taking place has changed dramatically. Salman just now talked about the next big thing, about marketing in a digital era and the importance of storytelling, giving us more emphasis on this context in which we are operating. I would like to build on these themes and talk about ourselves as the industry professionals which have to behave, interpret this new world and work within it for the next few years. And I would like to share with you a few themes, a few lessons in tactical agility, as we call it at OMD. And I hear you asking, agility? We're not in the gym, it's early in the morning, but why do we need to talk about agility? And really it is agility, because I think that we've reached an inflection point and we simply cannot continue to do things as we have in the past. To seize a future opportunity, agility matters most. And it matters to business and to us as individuals. Ask yourself, when and how we want to seize that opportunity which is coming next for our client, our firm, yourself, in a smarter way than the person sitting on your left or on your right. How are we going to do it? Because it's agility that will strongly influence our success in the future. Technology demands agility. There are new channels, behavior, trends. They're evolving so fast that we can't continue to do business as usual as we've done in the past. Let's ask yourself questions and examples. For example, were we ahead of the curve when Adobe made the decision to discontinue support for Flash on mobile devices recently? Were we already moving to HTML5? Or were we delaying development, betting on other different outcomes? How did we exploit that announcement to better our position? And you can build on this and have many other examples. How did we react in real time to find an advantage for ourselves and for the companies that we represent? Because when change occurs, there are two approaches, a response and a reaction. At OMD, we strongly believe in tactical agility that we define as rapid yet measured response. It's a discipline to ask, to think, and to do in real time. To ask, to think, and to do in real time. And we think that true tactical agility requires focus, predictive intelligence, market confidence, and real mastery of the situation. I think there are three lessons that I would like to share that I've learned over the last few years and that I every day try to adapt and follow, sometimes finding it quite hard, but always try to follow these three. Let me just share them with you. The first lesson I've learned is always asking. Be ready, don't stop. The world is certainly not static. Plans cannot, and I mean marketing plans in general, cannot any longer be written, agreed, and systematically executed. Long gone are the days in which we could plan and foresee the future, plan for the year, and then spend the next 11 months executing what we had planned 3 or 4 months before the start of the year. Everything is now dynamic. We're constantly learning, unlocking new insights, conceiving new ideas, observing new results, and every plane is really fluid in concept. And when change unfolds, tactical agility demands thoughtful adaptation based on answers to insightful questions. And the more variables we have considered, the more prepared we will be to exploit change. Let me give you one example, and coming straight after Salman, let me have an example on PepsiCo. In the Middle East, Lay's, the world's largest food brand, stays connected to consumers by asking them to determine the next flavor to be created. Lay's has, in the Middle East, 450,000 Facebook fans, 220,000 flavor submissions, and Lay's knows firsthand through these submissions what consumers are really looking for. By always asking, Lay's can optimize the condition for success in the product development cycle, and tactical agility drives resource efficiency and resource effectiveness. The second lesson that I've learned is always thinking. Where are the opportunities to be opportunistic? Because all too often change is perceived as negative, adversarial, sometimes even harmful. But tactical agility really demands a positive outlook to really exploit the change to our advantage. And rarely there is change that does not benefit a smarter constituent. We need to maintain an open mind to see what others cannot see, a positive outlook. And let me use here the example of Intel, where with Intel we've pioneered a sharper way to analyze the effectiveness of our media investments. The days of click-through rates and cost per visit are gone, and the system that we have developed with them optimizes media investments in real time, measuring the value of consumer engagement across more than 150 touch points, so that it always allows us to make comparative value assessments across media types to determine which tactics, size, placement, and creative executions were driving true business value. This very innovative approach drove a 74% increased efficiency, 172% improvement in brand engagement, and a 70% cost reduction. By always thinking, we were able to understand the true consumer engagement and respond with the right strategy to seize the right opportunity at the right time. My third lesson is always doing. To be courageous. Don't hide. Own your vision, as David Weldon said yesterday morning. Have a quiet confidence and conviction in what we stand for. At OMD, we've learned this lesson in the hard way, working with amazing, courageous leaders that really define tactical agility. People like Jack Welch, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, and many others. These were great leaders that hid from no one, and in fact, they drove the change in the first place, the change to whom we had to react. Building on my examples, take something which happened in China quite recently, that many of you will be aware, an example for Johnson & Johnson, when in December last year, China announced that there would be 3 game-changing policies which were to be implemented immediately. They were restricting the program genre and commercial airtimes, having no breaks within drama programs. As you can imagine, this had a dramatic impact on inventory and rates. We're talking about a few $1 billion of difference. And this was going to be matched by rate increases across the board in a market which is already suffering by huge inflation. So we had to do 2 things. The first one, very obvious, we had to immediately renegotiate everything that we had planned for the following year. But the innovative thing there is not renegotiating, it's doing it in real time the moment that the change was announced. The second, which is more innovative, was to forget the previous plan, which was only based on television, and to develop a multi-screen out-of-home strategy that really was going to deliver a much more efficient price structure while still delivering the same advantages as a single-play television. And I think we learned from that even in industry chaos, as it was during those days, there's always an opportunity that can be taken while others may be panicking. To conclude, I think always asking, always thinking, always doing. Agility is not only a lesson in business, but I think is a lesson in life. We will have many hurdles that we have to face in the near future, quite extraordinary hurdles, but our own personal tactical agility will shape our success as individuals and as professionals. So my lessons that I've learned is always to be ready, always to be opportunistic, and always be courageous. Thank you very much.
Mainardo, one of the, I think, challenges thrown out by Salman's presentation was that he wants his agencies, of whatever sort of skill set originally, he wants his agencies to bring him stories that will entrance the consumers. Do you think there's a risk that the agencies don't have those skills in-house? I mean, have we recruited over the years a group of people with a particular set of skills that were really suited to the old media world? Do we have the right skills? Do we need to change our recruitment and training plans?
Well, I certainly believe that what Salman is asking is to break the status quo. And I always believe that the glass is half empty, because I find that as a stimulus to do things better for the future. So while I'm convinced that we've got great resources within the agency world, sometimes they're a bit too separate across different agencies. Sometimes we don't manage to get them working together. So there is certainly space for improvement. And I think that we've got to adapt to the new world in which we're working. And paraphrasing what Salman was saying before, is not digital plans, it's marketing in a new digital era that we've got to focus on.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mainardo.
Thank you.